Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Nabs Effect podcast. I am your host, Naveen Ganglani. First of all, I want to say thank you so much to everyone who tuned into our last episode with none other than Boom Gonzalez, one of the best sportscasters in the Philippines today. And if you haven't listened to that episode yet or watched it, it's definitely worth checking out, particularly if you want to know more about the sports media industry. I think that Boom did such a tremendous job providing insights into what really goes on behind the scenes and what's required not just to perform with the camera on you, but what you also have to do away from the spotlight to really not, okay, maybe not exactly thrive, but at least find your place in what can sometimes be a difficult and demanding industry, which Boom, by the way, makes he makes it seem so effortless. But you know why after checking out that episode. Down to earth guy, really kind, and always willing to lend a helping hand. So check that out if you haven't yet. And if you did check it out, like I said, thank you so much. We got Nico Rocha coming on shortly, and we're going to go back to our roots here a little bit. We haven't done a lot of college basketball since the calendar year flipped, but now Nico and I are going to tackle some of the intriguing off-season storylines in the college basketball scene that we will be looking forward to. We don't have some of the usual tournaments coming very soon, but they will get here in a matter of time, starting with Pinoy Liga, then eventually Philoil, and I'm sure there are going to be some tournaments here and there that, well, you'll get to see your favorite players and teams in action soon enough. College basketball never stops. Recruitment, transfers, all of that already going on. Something happened today that we're going to discuss quite shortly. And I can't wait to tackle more about what else could happen in the coming weeks. I'm not going to drop some hints just yet because there are some items still developing, shall we say. But there's a lot to look forward to. Anyway, we're going to bring Nico on shortly, but first, we're going to take a quick break. Do not go anywhere. See you all soon. Okay, everybody, we are back and we are now joined by Nico. We are back to talking college basketball. I cannot wait. Before we get started, I want to shout out our good friend JP Manahan first for sharing the link to the last episode we had on this podcast to Boom Gonzalez on playback. So if you're checking out this podcast on playback, just click on that link in case you want to check the last episode out. And of course, he also mentioned that the UCAL starts this week. So yes, college basketball is coming soon. What's up to Fran Lu? What's up to members of the community? Nico is back here. So, Nico, we did the formalities last time. Let's get right into it. I told you a few hours ago we're going to each give four storylines we're looking forward to this off season, and it can be UAAP, it can be NCAA, it can be anything related to college basketball in the Philippines.
All you up ako ngayon. All you up ako ngayon.
All you up? Okay, okay. Well,
All you up ako ngayon.
I got maybe at least one NCAA storyline I'm excited about. I'll share that later. But you know what, Nico? Floor is yours. Why don't you go first? What is your first off-season storyline?
For me, who will be UE's new coach?
Oh,
Simultaneously, that could determine saan pupunta yung core nila eh. Di ba? It depends.
yeah.
Are they in favor of the new coach? Because if they're not, that means buy Momaway, that means buy Abate, that means buy Abate, that means buy whoever is not in favor of that decision. 'Di ba? Kasi parang yun yung ano eh, yun yung current situation right now na they're in a wait and see mode. So again, that's only based on articles no, that we have seen because we haven't heard from the players themselves na
Yes.
kinonfirm na yeah, it depends on the coach if we're gonna stay or not. Walang ganon. It's more of we're just basing out on the article. So that's why it's really interesting for me how that's gonna look like for the Red Warriors. Kung sino yung new
Very
coach nila.
very interesting. So I can
Hmm.
tell you a few things. I reported this.
Yan.
I know two guys who have definitely applied. That's Chris Gavina, who
Oh, Coach
coached
Chris. I
Rainer
know Coach
Shine,
Chris. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes, in the PBA.
Coach
He
Chris. Hmm.
also coached Phil Nation Select to the NBTC Championship last
Team ni
year.
na Andy. Yeah.
Yes, with Andy Gemau,
And Baila.
Jacob Bela, and some of the Phil Foreign recruits still playing the States right now. Caleb Harris. Was it Caleb Harris? If I'm remembering correctly.
Calum was also there. Nandun na rin si
Yeah.
Calum.
Caleb was there. Ian Lowe was there too. Coach Chris also coached Kia in the PBA a few years ago. And so Coach Chris is one of those guys that he has connections in terms of recruits, the Phil foreign recruits in particular. Another guy who has sent in his resume to apply is Coach Ariel Vanguardia, who was a coach in the PBA a few seasons ago, a few
Assistant
conferences ago.
coach rin sa NBA, di ba? Nag-assistant coach
He
siya sa
was an
NBA.
assistant coach in the summer league for the Atlanta Hawks
Ah.
as well. Exactly. So he's another option, and we know that he has experience. He's coached in the NCAA before also. And one guy who is receiving a lot of interest, I can't confirm yet if he sent in an official application or not, but I can confirm he is interested to come back to coaching college basketball, is Coach Eric Altamirano. And Coach
Oof.
Eric's resume speaks for itself. He's won a championship in the PBA. He's won a championship in the UAP with NU in 2014. If you guys can remember, he helped NU break a 60-year dry spell in terms of the championship race. And he was also the coach for UP for one season in the 90s. I think that was 1996. And he led them to a respectable, I think it was a 9-5 finish. So he's only had, I think, one season where his team hasn't made the final four. I'll have to double check. So Coach Eric's resume speaks for itself, and there are other people interested in the UE job as well. But from the three options I just mentioned, if you were UE right now, who would you lean towards from Coach Chris, Coach Ariel, and Coach Eric?
Coach Chris Gavina kasi si Coach Chris more of yung connections niya as well with the Philam Nation. That's like an extra step na they don't have to hurdle anymore kasi in a way connected siya dun, well connected. That's like a gateway to the talents abroad. Even though na magaling na talaga si Coach Jack with that one, 'di ba? He gets a lot of recruits by Philam Nation. Having Coach Chris then it's a breath of fresh air. I think the guys at UE would prefer to stay if si Chris Gavina yung ano, yung coach. I think there's the highest percentage that they might stay if it's Chris Gavina. Yun lang naman. Pero even though I still know Coach Eric Altamirano is also amazing coach. Abutang panahon natin yan eh. Yung nagko-coach pa siya for NU and everything. And overall, great guy. Great with PR. Great with players. I haven't heard any horrible stories about Coach Eric. And he's also, I think he's second for me. At least, at naman to personal opinion ko na ano na ranking. Kasi really don't know nasan sila eh, di ba? Like where they are with regards to how the UE management is looking at the possible coaches. So, yeah, that for me is Chris Gavina for me.
I should mention that Coach Eric would also have a lot of the connections in terms of recruits because of his job with the NBTC as the director. He would literally
Yun
have
din.
the names of all their high school recruits coming in. So that's one factor
Alam niya lahat.
worth considering because we know recruitment in the college basketball scene is very important. I want to get to some comments here because Fran Lu said, in addition for Coach Chris, he also coached in the T1 league in Taiwan. So he has experience in that regard. And JP articulated what Phenom Championship Clinic and also Phenom Sports Management, under one umbrella, said that nay on the confirmed applicants. I will say this though. I don't think Phenom would be a fan if UE hires Coach Vanguardia. They would be a fan of Coach Eric Altamirano. I have that on the record. With Coach Chris Gavina, it's a wait and see approach. That's where Phenom stands right now.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Wait
and
and
the
see sila kay
most
Coach Chris.
well, it's not like a bad or a good thing. It's more of a we don't really know him well kind of thing yet, you know. So it's a remains to be seen. So I did write this article based on my conversation with Precious Momaway about a week ago when asked about his future with the Red Warriors. He said that for now and always he likes UE. He wants to stay at UE. That's what he says is his number one goal. But also he admits, basketball is all about having a good coach of humans. We want a good coach. We want to compete. So with the right coach, yeah, I think like in that way I have a chance to stay. He's not the only phenom player in the UE roster right now. John Abate, who has one season of eligibility left, is also under the phenom umbrella. Likewise for Nico Muling Tapang, who is one of the promising young guards. I know he didn't get a lot of playing time last season because of UE's talent, but he's someone who I think will be a very good college player one day. So there's a lot to consider here for UE, but team manager Gene Alabanza
Mm.
mentioned when I did my exclusive interview with him that yes, he would like these players to stay, but in his own words, he does not want to be held hostage by Phenom and the players they have, meaning they will make the decision on who the next coach of UE is based on their findings and their search process. So what happens there remains to be seen. Now, before we move on to the next topic, I'm going to drop a little hint. What many in our community now like to call an egg drop. There was one player from a UAAP school who was at LaSalle's practice today. I'm not gonna name who. I'm not gonna
Sa
say from
Messenger,
which
oh,
school.
off the record sa paki-ano na lang Messenger.
I'll, I'll tell you off the record. And I know this for a fact because I have a picture.
Needle mover ba?
Oh yes, needle mover, 100%. I think our guy Adrian in the comment section knows who we're pertaining to. He was in campus today.
Wait, i-messenger mo ka sa akin ngayon. Gusto ko na makita ngayon.
All right,
Like,
I'm gonna
pag
message.
needle mover, gusto ko malaman agad eh. Pag hindi, off. Yeah.
I'm gonna message. I'm gonna. You
Yeah.
want the name or the picture?
Picture. Pwede picture or name.
You want
Pwede.
the picture?
Ngayon na,
Okay.
para ano.
I'm gonna send this to you, and I want to get your live reaction live on screen
Sige.
on this podcast. Let's make
That's
sure I
the
just
clip.
send it to the right
That's the
person.
real. That's
It's a
the
picture.
real.
Okay, it's sending. It's sending. It's sending. Come on, internet. Okay,
Gago!
send. Did you?
What the heck? Puti.
Nico, isang animo lasal nga dyan.
Mo, Lasal. Kilala ko rin yung kasama niya sa kanan ah.
Oh, really? I actually don't know who's to his right. Can you message it to me also? Oh, wait. Yeah, I do know him.
Kilala mo yan?
Oh, I do know him. Oh, I didn't notice him earlier. Shit. Anyway, we're we're gonna leave the topic there. This is a developing story. But look, just because he's there in practice doesn't mean anything's gonna happen, okay?
Marami na nangyaring ganyan eh. May marami na ganyan in the
Yeah,
past. Pero,
of course. And Fran Lu has started singing the alma mater hymn of
alam ni Fran Lu?
TLSU.
Ba't alam
He
ni
doesn't
Fran
know.
Lu? Wala lang.
Kumakanta lang yan.
Masaya lang siya for Lasa. Okay.
Oh!
Kala ko alam niya eh.
Yeah, I know the coach, bro. I
Kilala mo
definitely know the
yan.
coach. I'm talking about the guy in the other shirt. The other guy.
Ay, magaling ba
Player
yan?
din
Hindi ko
ata yan,
lalin.
di ba?
Hindi ko lalin. Naka-side view masyadong ano eh. And it's like 60% of new guys right now have that hair. Yung broccoli hair.
Oh my God. Yeah, the tapered.
So, the tapered, low taper, tapos broccoli top. Tapos ano, naka-perm. Everybody has that. Yung mga Gen Z ngayon na ano.
Exactly.
Yeah, so, what matters is the guy in the middle.
Man,
wild. Oh,
college basketball off-season starting off on a wild note. Anyway, let's get to my first pick. what am I looking forward to this off season? I think I'm gonna go with the obvious choice here. I want to see how the new DLSU recruits look in the off. I mean, we've already seen them in
Ah, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
flex tournament, but together with some of the Team A guys last season. So you're looking at the main DLSU core of Michael Phillips, Mason Amos, Jacob Cortez, Kian Baklaan, Earl Abadam, talk about the holdovers, EJ Goliena, mm, JC Makalalag. I'm just talking about the main guys. And of course, Luis Pablo. And I saved Luis Pablo for last because I've seen him a few times the last few weeks. I saw him in the Phenom runs last week. And I also saw him at strong group practice because he's been practicing with the strong group team that's going to Dubai.
Oh, yeah, Pabs.
Bro, he looks like a wing. He does not look like the big
He's
man we saw in
transitioning to a wing,
college.
no? He's transitioning to a wing.
He can hit mid-range jump shots. He's hitting three-point shots. He's taking guys. I mean, he's attacking guys off the dribble. He can still get the ball down in the low post, face up, do his moves. I'm not saying he's going to be a dominant player right away. I think there's going to be a learning curve there, especially against some of the veteran players. But this is essentially a third-year college player in his second season. Same with Seven Gagate. But I think I know a lot of the attention is going to be on Mason for obvious reasons.
Payat ni Mason. Have you seen his stories?
Oh
So
yeah,
payat.
he's
He's
leaned
chiseled.
down.
Chiseled na yung face niya, katawan
Exactly.
niya. Oh,
He looks
work.
like a
Sino bang...
different player.
Ah, yeah, sina Coach, ano, how am I to forget the names? Yeah. It's Coach
Coach Mix
Jello
Aitona
and Coach
Jelovita,
Migs, yeah.
of
Yeah, yeah.
course. And I know a lot of the attention is going to be at Jacob and Kian, but I feel like Luis Pablo is going to be one of those guys that is going to turn a lot of heads. And he's in a good situation right now too because he's not going to have the expectations people are going to have out of Mason and the two guards because they've already played a lot of minutes in UAAP. And Luis is still kind of an unknown at this point because he didn't play a lot in his rookie season with UP. But I think that puts him in the position where he can just come in, play his role, contribute, and really make an impact. I think some games you're gonna see him and you're gonna see like a mythical five caliber player down the line. I'm not saying in 88, season 88, he's gonna be mythical five. I'm saying he's gonna show potential in season 88 of we're in season 88, right? Sometimes I'm getting confused. We're gonna see potential of a future mythical player in season 88 in some games. His game is kind of different from Paulie. He's not exactly like a knockdown shooter yet. Not to say Paulie was a knockdown shooter, but Paulie did take a lot of jump shots. I think Luis is more of a if he gets out in transition and he can beat someone slower off the dribble, you're going to see good potential. By the way, before we
Yeah,
get
so
the next,
potential.
go
That's
for
the
it, Nico.
keyword.
Yeah.
It's good potential. That's
Yes.
the keyword. Potential pa lang.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly. Hello and thank you to everyone tuning in on our different platforms: Facebook, Playback, YouTube, Twitter, and of course Spotify. When you guys check this out later, no PBA topics today, but we'll be doing more PBA as the playoffs come closer. For today, we're in college basketball. So, Nico, before we get to the next topic, we should mention there was a transfer today that I announced. Russell Ogana, who was a Team B player for DLSU, has moved to the UP Fighting Maroons. So,
Mm.
I don't think a lot of people are going to be familiar with Russell Ogana's game, but he was someone who was developing really well over the last few weeks. He was turning into a good shooter. He's grown to 6'4". He's built up his body. He's 190 pounds with 9% body fat, 35 inches vertical leap, and I'm not saying he's gonna be someone who definitely 100% gonna be at UP's roster. But when you consider the fact that come season 89 after his residency when he's eligible, UP is going to be losing guys like Alarcon, Abadiano, Fortea, Torres, Felicilda, the veteran bullpups. There's an opening for him there to potentially make the lineup, and this could be an opportunity for him. I think he's going to be someone who's going to be a good player or showing flashes of it, and just keep an eye out on him. And that article, if you guys want to read it, is on All Star Magazine, all-star magazine.com. Let me just put that article real quick up on the screen right now if you guys want to read that. I will post the link on the comments section. Nico, go for it. What's your next pick?
My next pick is who will be UST's FSA after all the dust has settled.
Ooh.
Kasi ano eh, di ba? There was a bit of traction with regards to sino yung magiging, ano nila, with regard to sino yung magiging FSA nila, di ba? Because of that news na Moktong Kara, ito nga nangyari. He said, she said tayo ngayon eh. So we're waiting in the summer leagues, sinong field nila? Of course, they could say, gusto lang namin try si Osang. Gusto lang namin siya i-try kung fit nga ba siya. Did he get better? Kasi during the summer is where you can test out it without much people uh, going deep on the issue at hand. Kasi sasabihin nga lang naman nila, it's summer naman eh, pwede namin to gawin eh.
Yes, yes.
But,
And yeah.
pero the more na we see Osang siguro and we don't see Tungkara, doon ka na mapapaisip, nasan siya?
Another
Diba?
factor too
So,
is if Osang isn't lined up or in the preseason, it seems like he won't be used. I think he's gonna leave UST.
may ilang years pa ba siya? After
5 years pa, bro.
kasi
He
ano,
hasn't been
even with
lined
the
up at all.
okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, yeah. But even though nag-commit na siya. Kasi hindi ka pa nala-line up. Okay, yeah. Tama nga
Yeah.
naman. Yeah. Bricks
And
Versosa,
some
parang ano, I
teams could
haven't
use
heard yan
him.
eh.
Like imagine him at LaSalle. If like let's say hypothetically goes to LaSalle. Or okay, not
Lasal.
LaSalle. Ateneo. Ateneo could use him.
I'm gonna get there later sa Ateneo. Pero yeah, Ateneo could have used him.
Oh wait, I have an Ateneo one too. Okay, I'll share.
Mamaya na,
Okay,
mamaya
go.
na.
Let's
Isingit mo
finish
na lang
UST
dun.
first. Yeah, but
Tapusin
see,
mo natin USC. Tapos ano?
don't you think Mo should get another season? I mean, I'm not going to um go out there and say that Mo is so good. It 100% should be clear that he's the FSA because there were some. I mean, to me, he was the best FSA last season, but there were parts also that there were immaturity aspects worth considering. But I at least think he played well enough to maybe get another shot. What you think?
Yeah, I mean, definitely give him another shot. Pero depende sa call ng ano yan eh, ng UST. Are the quote-unquote demands of Tungkara too much? Kasi again, based on the article, dun yung usapan. So we're just basing it off of that. Pero also not off topic, no? Sa malayo kamukha ni Bronny James to si ano no, si Russell Lugar. Sa malayo. Bronny talaga. Sa malayo. sa malayo. Sa malayo. At sa Facebook, 'di ba maliit yung squares? Bro. O gana pa. Kaya lang, nakakatawa lang. Napansin ko, mga ni Bronny bago siya commit sa USC. Anyway, yun lang, wala lang. Very random. But yeah, that's the topic for UST. Also, maganda rin makita na Fortsky and Cabanero playing with the Zamboanga
Zamboanga.
Valientes. So that's another level to their development. At least makita tayong mga growling tigers in the international scene and see how they fare.
With Malik Diouf there too, a familiar face to UAP fans.
With Malik also, yeah, that's a nice target for Fortsky and Malik. In what?
I know,
In
right?
what parallel
Imagine.
universe, di ba?
What timeline are we living in?
Na
Well,
timeline to. Kasi sabi ko rin sa Navs, nung practice ng SGA, ay hindi pala sa'yo yun, sabi ko, in what world, Topex Robinson passing to Chris Kun, shoot around. Di ba nakita
oh
mo yun?
my gosh,
Coach Topex
yeah.
yung sabi kay Chris, catch and shoot, sila dalawa. Sabi ko,
Catch and shoot.
Topex, Chris Kun?
And shout out to Chris Kuhn, man. At one point, the guy took off his shirt and was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna practice topless with these
So
guys."
yeah, I was like, this guy went skins when everybody
This
was in
guy
white.
with skins, man. Shout out to Chris. Nice to see him back here in the Philippines.
It's nice to
Well,
see his ankle okay. Like,
oh
he's moving
yeah,
well.
healthy. He looks
Considering
healthy.
mm-mm.
He looked healthier in that practice than he did the entire UAP season.
Exactly. Exactly. I was gonna say that. Tama.
Anyway, so my Ateneo related pick is
Mm-mm.
how for real are some of the recruits coming in? So Kimani
Yeah.
Ladi, who people are telling me
excited.
is Kai Balungay, but potentially 10% better than Kai Balungay. Like a 6'8" guy, athletic, can shoot, can play inside, can play some outside. Can he adjust quickly to the college game and be an impact difference maker type of player for Ateneo? Because if he can, then we'd have to rethink how good Ateneo is. Grayson Rogers. He has been impressive in practice. We reported on All Star about his commitment to the Blue Eagles a little bit before the holidays last year. He's a big guard, can play either the 1 or the 2. Santi Sauler arrived late last season, but he has potential. Can he make it to the roster of Ateneo? We'll find out.
Yeah,
And
what's the
how much
probability of Santi making the roster? Is it more of a sure thing or more of a 50-50 or mahirap?
right now I'd say 50-50. I think it'll depend on the off
50-50.
season.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And how much has guys like the Jared Bahay type of player for Ateneo, what kind of player are you getting from him in year 2? Same question for Chris Porter. Will we see a significant leap from year 1 to 2, or are we going to see the same type of player just marginally better? Because if they can make that leap and then you add the new reinforcements there for Ateneo, because they also have a player by the name of Chance Carl. I hope I
Chance
pronounced it right.
Carlton.
Chance Carlton,
Carlton.
who is also impressive. So they're gonna have talent, and they're playing for a coach who knows that he has to make the final four at the least. I think, in my opinion, I think that's going to be the standard that's required of him, which is not a surprise because it is Ateneo basketball, right? You can't miss the final four 2 straight years when you're coaching Ateneo. So how much improvement do we see from the talent? How big of a leap do Bahay and Porter take? And if it all turns out good for Ateneo, I think we should talk about them not as a championship contender, but as a Final Four contender, compared at least to an
Hmm.
eighth place finish again like last season. What do you think?
Hmm. Maybe top 5 at best. Realistic 6. Kasi ano talaga eh. Again, we have to see, no? We have to see what's legit ba yung hype kay Kimani Ladi? Legit ba yung hype kay Grayson Rogers? I've seen Chance Carlton play, albeit from last year pa, dun sa sa Pinoy Liga, that's where they first fielded him. I wasn't impressed, but that was last year. A lot can change in a year. So for me, it's a 5 to 7 range, just to be honest with you. Last year, I think I called it na Ateneo 6 to 8. Diba? I was saying that either Ateneo 4 wins. I correctly guessed it. I said Ateneo will have 4 wins. So, ang main determining factor dito talaga will be Bahay, Ports, and Ladi. Silang tatlo yung magde-determine how
Mm-mm.
far they go. Ganda ng na
And the
how
Ateneo Cebu
Bahay's
boys, you
body
forgot
has
about
changed.
them.
Yeah, I forgot Rota. I forgot about Rota.
Rota, Flem. How do you pronounce his name again? Flem.
Flem?
The Phil Swedish guy.
Oh yeah, guys, how do you pronounce that? Felbang. Oh, I'm sorry guys, pag di namin ano yung pronounce.
We
Fielbang.
will learn this. We
Fielbang.
promise. And of
Malalaman namin to.
course,
Kasi
Alden Kainglet, Jello Rota, and Lars. We'll just call him Lars
Silent
for
J.
now because we don't wanna
Yeah, si Lars na lang
mispronounce his
muna.
name. A lot of young players, Nico. It's like I hate to compare this to the NBA, pero parang rebuilding
OKC.
NBA
Na
team you
OKC.
and OKC like 2 seasons ago before
Yeah,
they
yeah.
became
Nung they were getting blown up by 30-20. Post
mm-mm.
Chris Paul, OKC.
Post
The
Chris
year,
Paul OKC.
1 year
Yes,
after the bubble. Na, diba? Kasi Chris Paul kind of raised their ceiling.
yes,
Remember?
yes, yes. I remember
But then
that
when he
they
left
they
the
made
next year,
they made the
parang nangyari
playoffs,
dito.
diba? Yeah.
They did. They overachieved with Chris Paul nung bubble. So when Chris Paul left the year after, dun yung parang, shit, mga bata nga pala to before the
Now it's
bubble.
time. Exactly. Speaking of side note, how crazy is it that OKC might win 70 games and own the NBA draft for the next decade? We've never seen team management like this ever. Like Sam Presti, man, that guy's a fucking genius. JP says Ateneo reminds him of the current Washington Wizards. Oh, come on, man. I mean,
Wizards, parang di naman. Parang hindi naman. Because Bahay is a legit piece and ports. Si Jordan
yes.
Poole and Kuzma are not legit building pieces. I mean, they're not legit ano talaga, like young players to build around. I feel like they're more of trade pieces or maybe second, third option in a championship team, which Jordan Poole was. He was a third option, second, third.
Exactly, exactly. Well, let's get to the next one. Nico, what's your
Mm.
third pick?
My third one is who's going to make the final roster of the UP Fighting Maroons? Any big fish
Oh,
recruits
that's
like
always a
UMB, like
question.
last summer? So, yung mga gugulatin na lang tayo 1 to 2 months before
Stage
the actual
Tolentino? Nah, I'm
season.
just joking.
Yan yung mga girl, like you'll never know eh. Kasi yung QMB news is just, di ba parang it wasn't teased throughout the whole summer. Bigla na lang siyang there was like a month na dire-diretso lang siya, 'di ba? It wasn't it wasn't being teased all summer. It just happened na one week it was all like, oh, they're in conversation. The next thing you know, oh, it's very warm na, may mangyayari na. So that's something I'm thinking of. Same kay Coronel. I'm curious if he's healthy
Mm.
enough to make the team.
Hopefully, L.A. Andres, another name, and of course Miguel Iniguez, who is a knockdown shooter, someone that UP fans should be excited about. The thing with UP to me is they're going to have arguably the most veteran laden team, shall we say, because the Bullpups will be in their fifth years. Of
Oh
course,
yeah,
they might have a new FSA, but we'll see. But who will replace the QMB factor there? That's the question for me when it comes to UP, because he was just such a big factor for them last season that replacing him isn't something that you can do with the snap of a finger. I know that their FSA looked good in the flex tournament, but I think Miles is right here. It's going to be back to a committee of bigs, and of course, Remogat is coming in. R- Remogat, I think, will be the lead ball handler for UP,
dapat lang
and they're
as you
they're
should.
fine in the wings and the guard position exactly. So it's a matter of the front court. Can Gianni Stevens make a leap as well? Can he be uh someone you play more minutes in season
That's his
88?
point guard. Remogat's his point guard.
Exactly,
'Diba? Nung rookie
exactly,
year niya, nagsabay yan. So I won't discount trying them together. More minutes, 'diba? The UE
exactly.
connection from before. And yun nga, the Francis Noru is it Noruka? It's Noruka, 'diba?
Noruka, yeah, and Francis Lopez
The Francis
also.
Noru.
Francis Lopez is going to be that 4/3. Sometimes you play him as a small ball five. The one question, because UP's roster is championship contending, that's for certain. With UP, the question you ask is who do you used to guard Mike Phillips, because you're expecting to meet LaSalle in the final four, the finals, probably the finals. Who's going to stop Mike? That's your question for UP. But I think at the least UP is going to make the finals. I know a lot of people are worried about the absence of JD Kagulangan just because he was such a steady
Remogat kayo.
presence. But you do have Remogat. And even if Remogat is off some games, you have Felicilda, you have Abadiano. The guards and the wings are set for the Fighting Maroons. Sorry, Miles. I disagree. I think Mike would eat Udodo.
Same, same.
Yeah. QMB was the only guy who was able to contain Mike. But at the same time, even in the finals, Mike was starting to score against QMB, and that was with QMB. Now, conversely, I think LaSalle is gonna have a hard time stopping UP's guards. The penetration, the attack, and the point of attack defense in the perimeter. So it's a give and take between both teams. Way too early prediction, but I just think these two teams are on a collision course for a third finals matchup. Okay, I'm gonna go NCAA here, Nico, and shout out to our guy Paulo Perez from San
Game.
Beda. Will San Beda regain its status as a dominant NCAA team? Now, listen to me, the NCAA fans, college basketball fans watching or checking out this podcast right now. Remember these names: Janty Miller, Jimmy Reyes, Xavier Gentles. Now, the last guy, I almost did the middle finger, my bad. The last guy there, Xavier Gentles, is still a bit of a development project right now. He is working with Coach Norman Black every day, though. So that makes me confident he's going to be eventually a beast in the college level, especially in the NCAA without FSA. But that's this guy, John T. Miller, that athleticism, the shooting, the beast mode mentality, he's going to be NCAA Mythical 5, in my opinion. And Jimmy Reyes at the point, at the two guard, knockdown shooter. And the fact that you have Yuken Andrada back, you have some of the younger guys from last season developing, Kalimag, Sahonia. Sahonia, we'll see. The last question is if Payosing is gonna come back for San Beda. That's the last
May
question.
isa pa siyang taon? May isa pa siyang taon? Kala
I
ko
think
tapos.
I think meron pa, yeah. He would be the final piece that they need.
James Paising.
Exactly. But I think right now, San Beda is as talented as any team in the NCAA.
I think I have Mapua Perpetual marami ring recruits, 'di ba? I think I'll have Mapua and CSB over San Beda as of now. Kasi I need to see those recruits first in the summer leagues, 'di ba? As always, ganun lang naman. The summer leagues could give us a better barometer on how they're gonna fare. Eh, grabe rin kasi yung recruitment ng Mapua eh. Incoming. Same for Perpetual.
Ah,
'Di ba?
Letran also to some degree.
Yeah, Letran, sina Omega, papasok na for Letran. Manalili, hopefully, God willingly, okay na yung
Injury.
situation niya. Situation. Sana maayos niya na yun. Because Manalili is a great player. So, madami,
Absolutely.
a lot of, pero I might have Beda over Letran for now.
You know what though?
For now,
Manalili was in the Phenom runs last week and he looked good, pare. He looked
he is
healthy and good.
phenom. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, healthy and good.
I like where CSB is right now though. Quick NCAA thought. Because they still have the same talent, if not better, than last season. But now there's no hype. There's no, oh, they're the most talented team. They're dominant with all the recruits. Because they lost in the finals. And that's now two finals they've lost in the last 3 years. And I know now is the time when people will be judging them or doubting them for not being able to get the job done. But don't forget, you have SJ Moore coming in, James Nakua coming in,
I forgot about SJ Moore. I forgot about SJ Moore. Oo nga
Rafi
pala.
Celis, who I think will
Oo
be
nga pala,
great in the
may Rafi
NCAA.
Celis pa.
And then who was it? Jake Gaspay, Matthew
Oh,
Yucom. Now, of course, there are only so many spots in the team, but they're more loaded than they were last season. And now they won't have the weight of the NCAA world on their shoulders because people are expecting them to blow the opportunity to win the championship. Daha also, yes, Bon Daha also. I like the position they're in right now. They can kind of like fly under the radar. And even if they make
although,
it all the way to the finals, people are going to be like, oh, talo naman kayo sa Letran, talo naman kayo sa Mapua. Why should we believe in you? And they're like, they have this, okay, don't believe in us underdog vibe to them right now. Does that make sense?
for me, ano naman, it's the opposite, no? It's all the pressure, or even more heading into season 101, considering na they were stacked last 100 and they were swept. So, heading to 101 with even more weapons, and the fact na mainit yung CSB sa mata ng NCAA fans, just basing it on the comments, just seeing it on the live stream. They're like the UP of the NCAA. Eh. Pero ang problem is they haven't won anything. UP
Yes.
has won twice out of four appearances, di ba? In the 2020s. For CSB, they haven't gotten a ring yet. So the
I like
pressure
the
is
UP
mas marami
comparison.
pa. They
I
are.
like the UP comparison. You know why? It gives me the same UP vibes. You know how entering last season, everyone's like, oh, sige, UP, dami niyong recruit, magaling kayo, pero choker naman, three-peat
Ganyan yung comment sa
finalist,
GMA.
runner-up.
Ganyan yung comment sa
Exact.
YouTube.
That's the comments for CSB now.
Oh.
And then,
Oh.
and then, what did UP do? See, that's the most dangerous thing in basketball that people don't realize. The most dangerous team a lot of times is the talented team with a history of winning and flying under the radar because people doubt they have the ability to do it. That was the position UP was in. That's the position CSB is going to be in. So if you see CSB in the finals again and one game away from winning the championship, don't be surprised. I there's a UP similarity to CSB entering this
Well,
season. And look, one more thing, Nico, I think it's SGA's last year with CSB.
I don't know. I can't
I
speak for
I
I can't speak for
I think I'm not reporting. I think it's
uh,
SGA and Coach Charles's last year. It will probably most likely be the last year for Liwag Sanchez Enot. So this is an all or nothing, leave it all on the line season for CSB. This is and the pressure is not gonna come from outside. It's gonna come from within. But I think that's gonna bring them closer together.
I hope so. I mean, with so much pressure and everything, and all the bashing they received, I mean, Coach Charles needs to get it together for the guys. Parting gift na rin for CSB. It's gonna be 25 years since the last time they won. Diba? I think year 2000 nung debut season nila with sina Sunday Salvacion. So, parting gift, a great parting gift for sure before they leave na walang sama na loob by the time, if ever SGA pulls the support na out of CSB by the end of season 101.
Who's your early NCAA Final Four?
Ooh, fun. Mapua. No particular order Mapua just because they're champs and assuming na Clint Escamis comes back. Kasi wala akong alam kung ano ba yung mindset niya. Wala pa siya sinasabi na I'm coming back, di ba? Wala pang ganun
I'm hearing some things pero nothing confirmed, so I'm not gonna report muna.
Assume natin na he's coming back. So,
Okay.
Mapua, CSB, Beda, Perpetual.
Perpetual.
Ayan.
There we go. My bad. That was on me.
May napindot ka ba yung leave stage?
Yeah, I actually. You know how in the Mac when you swipe left sometimes, it like forwards by accident the page.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
tech
it happened
problems.
before.
But we'll let JP start with the conspiracy theories about someone heard you. Okay, so your final four was Mapua, CSB, Beda, Perpetual, right?
Yeah. Perpetual's my surprise pick. If you would even call it a surprise. Kasi it could also be Letran. Kasi hindi mo rin alam eh. Sinong, di ba?
I think it's going to be CSB, San Beda, Mapua. I'm assuming Clint Escamis won't come back in this scenario. And then Perpetual, 4. But I think
Just to
Hubilla
add,
is
no?
gonna be a beast, bro. Fuck, that guy's so
Just
good.
to add on Mapua, I'm a big fan of Cyrus Nitura. Defense Player of the Year
Galing.
ng Philoil yan eh. May ganun sila sa Philoil eh. Galing ni Titura talaga. Para siyang Jonathan Isaac. Not same physicals for sure, but just the way he's such a pest sa perimeter, si Cyrus Nitura. And si Gonzalez, si Cyrus, killing it in practices and scrimmages.
Oh my god, yeah, bro.
Diba?
And they
Kaya
have
kaya niya
AP
lahat.
Manlapas coming in too.
Kasi
Wait,
AP Manlapas pa.
I might have to reconsider that even without this scam. Pakatide, San Beda and
Final
Mapua.
Four naman eh. Final Four lang naman yung sabi mo eh. So,
Hmm.
I don't know. Tinanggal mo ba Mapua sa choices
No,
mo?
no, no. They were my number
Oh,
3.
yeah.
But I think they might be tied with
Okay.
Beda for. Anyway, what's your last college off-season storyline?
Na-mention na natin ito in passing. I was gonna say, my last thing here is like, what's up, Ateneo? Yun yung question mark. So I think napasok na natin kanina unknowingly. Pero, ayun, that's my last one. It's more of, what kind of Ateneo are we gonna see? Are we gonna, when am I gonna see that Kyle Gamber leap, man? Matagal ko nang hinihintay yun.
You mean on
The
TikTok,
Kyle
you'll see him leaping there, bro?
Yeah, hindi, yung ban only lasted a day. So,
Oh, Lord.
but I'm still hopeful kay Kyle Gamber. That's what I meant. Like, the reason I'm like this is because I'm still hopeful that he's gonna be that flame thrower na scorer off the bench na 6-man. I feel like that's a role na pwede niyang gawin. 6-man. Because Gamber last year, whenever they would put him in, he's gonna make some
Jack
threes,
up a
1 or 2
three.
threes. He has like 6
But he
points in
gets
3
lost
minutes.
in defense. Yun lang talaga.
Yun,
That's
exactly,
really the
diba?
only thing holding. I mean, obviously the ball handling is still. Because the thing about Kyle is he'll dribble twice. Then when you pressure him, he picks up the dribble. And
He
one
picks
of
up
the
his dribble
worst
agad.
things you can do in college basketball in the Philippines against pressure defense is to pick up your dribble early. You're asking for
Instant
trouble.
turnover yun.
Yeah.
Instant turnover yun. That's a
And
fast
like,
break. Tatalong ka, babato mo,
yeah.
nababasa na nila yun pa.
And if you don't play defense and you're supposed to be a shooter, but some games you don't make shots, you won't get a lot of playing time. So we'll see. But I don't think Ateneo fans should expect Gamber to be like this knockdown shooter slash scorer. I think maybe as a serviceable role player, kaya pa. But like a go-to guy, I don't think it we're
Off
at
the
the
bench, hindi pa rin. Like you
Hindi.
feel like, well, it's only
Maybe.
January. The season starts September.
Okay,
So,
so
it's
what's the
8 months to
ceiling
work
of
on.
how many points you think he can average in a season? Like if
This season? Or
best case scenario, like realistic best case scenario, How many points has Kyle Gamber averaged this season?
Wait, what's the question? Is it by the time he leaves UAP or just season
Season
88? Wait,
88.
88 na, di ba? 88.
Yeah.
Ooh, good question. As in, most optimistic ceiling?
Yeah. Most optimistic. As in, yung nakainom ka na ng bucket ng beer tapos sobrang optimistic mo.
15 minutes a game, tapos he'll give you 7 points.
7 points.
7,
That's the most
7, 2,
optimistic
and
na.
2. Yeah, most
7
optimistic.
to
7, 2, and 2, and 2.
I
15
like
to
how
18 minutes a game.
JP mentioned LeBron Nieto because LeBron Nieto, I think, can outplay him.
He could be a backup point guard.
They really missed him last season.
Yeah,
Those
needed
games
shooting,
where Bahay was
Mm.
missed and Espinosa were firing blanks, they could have really used him. Sayang talaga. And hopefully he recovers well because he is a talented young player. Enzo wants to ask, Nico, ilan buckets ng beer yung 7.22 average?
Yung tipong di ko na maalala yung nangyari the previous night. Ganun. Imagine mo, beer yung gagawa sa'yo nun. That's a lot. It's gonna take a lot.
Oh, just an update, everyone. I mentioned in the last episode I have not drank in 2025. Nico, I went 17 days without a sip of alcohol, bro. Unfortunately, that streak ended a few days ago. And I had a couple of beers. But less alcohol for 2025. Side note lang. Anyway, I want to say hello to Kevin L. Estrada on the stream. Kevin, JP is here also. Huwag kayo mag-away on playback. Okay lang sa Twitter. But here, we're all about the good vibes. No, but just joking. I appreciate both of you for being here. Ooh, Enzo says, less alcohol, more. Ooh, I can't say that out loud. But I get what you mean, Enzo. Okay,
Gummy
Nico.
bears, masarap yan.
Gummy bears, yeah, oo. Yung mga... I always... What did you like more? Yung gummy bears na matamis or the sour troll? You know those sour worms? Ang sarap ng sour worms.
I love sour. Mahilig ko sa sour. I like sour. So, pero masarap yung mga gummy sa galing Amsterdam.
Yeah. I mean, ang tunay na lalaki mahilig sa sour candy. That's for sure. Candy corner.
Actually, candy corner the best for sour needs. Yung mga sour tape.
Ooh.
Yung sinasell nila by the
Yes.
Oo.
Sour
It's been a
Patch
while.
Kids is still the OG though. Yung sa States, not the one you get from the Philippines here na pagdating na medyo wala na yung sour taste.
Wala na yung sour, sweet lang.
Hindi nga sweet eh, parang bland
Patch
sugar. Kids. Any news of Asido taking talents elsewhere? I haven't heard
parang wala rin
anything like that yet. Exactly. So,
how about yung kay Condov? May narinig ako, may nagtatanong sa
No. I was chatting with him today. He's surprised about the rumors.
Yeah, okay. Somebody asked me as well. I'm like, where did you get that? Like, that's the first I've heard it.
Exactly. Well, okay. So for my last off-season, I haven't actually thought about the last one yet, but I want to go with something more general. Which from the lower ranked UAAP teams will make a move that could potentially get them in the Final Four race? So, can Adamson, do we see Kobe Demesana become a beast for Adamson? Will that happen? If so, maybe Adamson can be a Final Four contender again. Will FEU's young guys continue to develop at a rapid pace, thus making them a contender next season? Will NU with a healthy FSA, and who will be the FSA is a question. Is it that beast in their high school team right now? Is it Modi Asana? Will they get back in the Final Four picture? Ooh, good question. And UE, I think UE at this point, because of the new coach and everything going on, we just kind of have to assume it's going to be another rebuilding year. Maybe in season 89, they can make the Final Four, but we'll see. So we'll leave with this, Nico. My last question for you is, if you had to guess which from the teams I mentioned, okay, we're assuming LaSalle, UP, UST make the Final Four in 88, right?
UST, UP,
Yeah. So who is your number one pick right now from the other UAP teams to get that last Final Four spot?
FEU, assuming na assuming na Coach Sean pa rin, FEU.
Because of your trust in VJ Pre?
I love VJ Pre. Because of my trust in VJ Pre and another year for Jedrick Daa. I'm still on the Jedrick Daa hype train eh. So, tiwala pa rin ako Jedrick Daa na he could get that kind of impact that he did ng juniors. Mas mapapansin na natin siya ngayon. Kasi di ba, nasa starting five for majority of the time si Daa, but 0 points, 2 points. Parang di mo siya napapansin na sa court pala si Daa. But I feel like ito na yung year na magiging consistent na siya. And of course, another year of Konate. Mo Konate.
Mo Conte. I think it's NU right now.
For you, NU over FEU?
If healthy yung FSA, NU, pare, Manansala, Figueroa, 5th year. Oof. Enriquez, 5th year na din ba ni Enriquez? Or 5th or 4th year?
May isa pa
And
si
then-
Steve.
Yeah, and then Yumamoy, 3rd year. Tebol Garcia, 2nd year. Vince Reyes coming in as a rookie, but as a redshirt rookie from last season. Pare, NU's deep and long, and they're well coached. As usual, the problem with them is, can they find enough shooting? Can they find
Question
enough
ko for
offense?
NU, Navs. I feel like
Yeah.
they're not maximizing their guards. For some reason, talaga, the fact na ang dami nila masyadong talented guards, hindi mo na maximize yung talent ng the pieces that you have. Diba? Like for me, yun eh. I feel like Humamoy, if he was with a different team, MVP candidate. Pero the fact na dahil ang dami nga minamanage ni Coach Jeff, na may Nash ako, may Tebol ako na nilalaro niya rin. For good reason, magaling si Tebol. In a way, hindi mo maximize yung pieces. Hindi mo mapiga masyado yung guards. So, yun yung something to monitor for heading into season 88 na-resolve na ba yan. It's a good problem to have, pero at the same time, naisip ko yung career sa mga bata na is being with the NU the right place? Knowing na ang dami yung kalaban sa pwesto.
I think they're well taken care of. That's why a lot of them stay.
Yeah, pero ako as a player,
Except Kian, I
hindi
guess.
feel ko din na maximize. So, I feel ko hindi ako maayos nagagamit. Kasi at some point, masasabi mo, okay, yeah, I'm secure, pero what if hindi na mag-progress masyado? Ito na yung last good pag-aalaga sa akin.
Well, we'll see.
Diba?
We'll see. A lot of time, a lot is gonna happen.
Marami ba? January pa lang. The season starts September, 3rd week.
Anyway, that was a fun podcast. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. Nico, before we go, anything you have coming up you want to share?
Wala naman. It's more of, I'm just gonna still make podcasts on the PBA, on SGA when they start their tournament this
Yes.
24, right? Friday.
Yes.
Oh, tapos next Papawis content baka bukas. Maglalaro kami bukas eh. So, tingnan natin kung gaano kaganda yung laro ko bukas.
Oh, I'm balling in like an hour, bro. That's why I asked you if you were in Magallanes tonight because we're playing in Magallanes tonight.
Ortigas
Sayang.
Shit.
I'm trying out the new Curry Fox one.
Alam mo ba si Jesh? Si Jesh ba maglalaro?
No Jesh.
Parang he hasn't been playing na, no? He hasn't been playing recently.
I think he's recovering from an injury or something like that.
Actually, lagi naka-wrap yung legs niya, no? He's heavy wrapping sa legs niya.
But he doesn't usually play in Magallanes. It's more of the other guys. Sanj will be there.
Magallanes, not the zone.
Yeah, Magallanes. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll let you guys know how the Curry Fox one turns out. I'm excited to use it. My first time playing in Under Armour shoes, actually. So a lot to be excited about. It's going to be a lot of fun. So you got more podcasts this week? How many episodes are you looking at?
I don't know, man. Like siguro 2? Maybe 2. Maybe 2 muna for the week. Kasi not sure kung gagawa ng episode per SGA game or gagawa rin ba kami ng content sa Zamboanga Valientes considering may UAP guys doon. So let's see. I will play by ear. Kasi wala naman talaga nangyayari. Baka gawan nga rin naman ng content eh. Kasi wala talaga nangyayari.
Maybe I'll do a watch party of the SGA games. Why not? Diba? That could be fun here on Playback.
Pero saan tayo UAP high school basketball? Good idea, JP. Maybe I'll just go delve in that lore. Sige.
Bro, I might drop by that first game on Thursday. Maaga lang, 8 a.m. But I might drop by Phil Oil Arena for that first game.
No excuse for me. I live near Phil Oil. Yung New Manila area.
First game is diba? Zobel versus NU.
Zobel and kakain na Colin sa
Colin sa Cohen.
Feel ko kakain ng NU yan. LaSalle only won by 2 against UPIS. And majority of UPIS team is from their U16.
No, I get that,
So
bro. But at the same time, I'm just gonna watch Kiefer Alas go to work.
yeah, he's gonna be
Yeah,
amazing. It's
worth the
Kiefer
price
Alas
of
and the
admission.
Mako Davao. Silang dalawa yung
Yes, yes,
it's the
yes.
two guys. Pero who's
Shout
gonna
out to
help those
Davao.
two? Oh, solid si Mako Davao.
We shall find out. Nico, thank you so much. Appreciate you, bro. More power to you and the
All right,
podcast.
same bro. I'll
And
see
I'll
you.
be
Maybe
seeing
see
you
you
soon, bro.
Thursday.
Yeah, for sure. Let me know if you're going
May
to the
game ba
game.
ate, may game ba ate na sa Thursday? Juniors.
Meron. All teams are playing.
All the more I'm gonna watch.
Yes. All right. See
All
you,
the more.
Brody.
All right, see you.